Mystical Mischief. The glorious stories of Lord Krishna continue, where within a very short time, both Krishna and Balram went from crawling to standing to walking, as they began to give the highest transcendental pleasures to the gopis, specifically to Mother Yashoda and Rohini. All the gopi friends of Yashoda and Rohini enjoyed the naughty, childish activities of Krishna and Balram in Vrindavan. In order to enjoy further bliss, they all assembled and went to Mother Yashoda to lodge further complaints against these two boys. When Krishna was sitting before Mother Yashoda, all the elderly gopis began to petition against him so that Krishna could hear. They said, "Dear Yashoda, why don't you restrict your naughty Krishna? He comes to our houses along with Balram every morning and evening, and before the milking of the cows, they let loose the calves, and the calves drink all the milk of the cows. So when we go to milk the cows, we find no milk, and we have to return with empty pots. If we warn Krishna and Balram about doing this, they simply smile charmingly. We cannot do anything. Also, your Krishna and Balram finds great pleasure in stealing our stock of yogurt and butter from wherever we keep it. When Krishna and Balram are caught stealing the yogurt and butter, they simply say, 'Why do you charge us with stealing? Do you think that butter and yogurt are in scarcity in our house?' And sometimes they steal butter, yogurt, and milk and distribute them to the monkeys. And when the monkeys are well fed and do not take any more, then your boys chide, 'This milk and butter and yogurt are useless. Even the monkeys won't take it.' And then they break the pots and throw them everywhere. Even if we keep our stock of yogurt, butter, and milk in a solitary dark place, your Krishna and Balram can still find it in the darkness. If we keep our stock of butter and yogurt high on the ceiling, hanging on a swing, although it's beyond their reach, they arrange to reach it by piling all kinds of wooden crates over the grinding machine. And if they cannot reach it, they simply make a hole in the pot. All day they make arrangements to steal our butter and yogurt, and now they are sitting so silently, acting as innocent good boys. Just look at his face." When Mother Yashoda thought to chastise her boy after hearing all the complaints, she saw Krishna's pitiable face, and smilingly she was unable to rebuke him. Another day, when Krishna and Balram were playing with their friends, all the boys joined Balram and told Mother Yashoda that Krishna had eaten clay. On hearing this, Mother Yashoda caught hold of Krishna's hand and said, "My dear Krishna, why have you eaten clay? Just see, all your friends, including Balram, are complaining about you." Being afraid of his mother, Krishna replied, "My dear mother, all these boys, including my elder brother Balram, are speaking lies against me. I have never eaten clay. My elder brother Balram, while playing with me today, became angry, and therefore he has joined with the other boys to complain against me. They have all combined together to complain, so you will be angry and tell me off. If you think they are truthful, then you can look within my mouth to see whether I have taken clay or not." His mother replied, "All right, then just open your mouth and I shall see." When the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, was ordered by his mother, he immediately opened his mouth, and then Mother Yashoda saw within that mouth the complete opulence of creation. She saw the entire outer space in all directions: mountains, islands, oceans, seas, planets, air, fire, moon and stars. And along with it, she also saw the entire elements: water, sky, the extensive ethereal existence, along with the total ego and the products of the senses and the controller of the senses, all the demigods and the three qualities of material nature. She also could perceive that within his mouth were all the living entities: eternal time, material nature, spiritual nature, activity, consciousness, and different forms of the whole creation. Upon seeing all this, she became struck with awe and began to wonder whether her son could actually be God. But then Lord Krishna expended his eternal energy just to bewilder her with maternal affection. Immediately, Mother Yashoda forgot all her speculation and concluded she was just dreaming, and accepted Krishna as her own child. She took him on her lap and became overwhelmed with motherly love. During another summer's day, Mother Yashoda took her son Krishna on her lap and began feeding him. Suddenly, the milk which was on the stove began to boil over. Just to stop the milk from spilling, Mother Yashoda at once put Krishna aside and went to the stove. Left in that state by his mother, Krishna became very upset, and his eyes began to sparkle with mischief. Taking up a piece of stone, he threw it up in the air, and it immediately broke the butter pot. He then took the butter out of it, and with false tears in his eyes, he began to eat the butter in a secluded, hidden place. In the meantime, Mother Yashoda returned and saw the broken pot in which the butter was kept. Since she could not find her boy, she concluded that the broken pot was his work. She began to smile as she thought, "This very child of mine is so clever. After breaking the pot, he has left this place fearing punishment." After searching all over, she found a big wooden grinding mortar, which was kept upside down, and she found her son sitting on it. He was taking butter, which was hanging from the ceiling on a swing, and he was feeding it to the monkeys. She saw Krishna looking this way and that way, in fear of her, because he was conscious of his naughty behavior. After seeing her son so engaged, she very silently approached him from behind. Krishna, however, quickly saw her coming at him with a stick in her hand, and immediately he got down from the grinding mortar and began to flee in fear. Mother Yashoda chased him to all corners, trying to capture the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is never approached even by the meditations of great yogis. In other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was playing just like a little child for a great devotee like Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda, however, could not easily catch the fast-running child. Still, she tried to follow him as fast as possible. Her hair loosened and the flowers in her hair fell to the ground. Although she was tired, she somehow reached her naughty child and captured him. When he was caught, Krishna was almost on the point of crying. The child saw his mother's face while she stood over him, and his eyes became restless from fear. Mother Yashoda could understand that Krishna was unnecessarily afraid, and for his benefit she wanted to allay his fears. Being the topmost well-wisher of a child, Mother Yashoda began to think, if the child is too fearful of me, I don't know what will happen to him. Mother Yashoda then threw away her stick. In order to punish him, she thought to bind his hands with some ropes. She did not know it, but it was actually impossible for her to bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mother Yashoda was thinking that Krishna was a tiny child. She did not know that the child had no limitation. There is no inside or outside of him, no beginning or end. He is unlimited and all-pervading. Indeed, he is himself the whole cosmic manifestation. Still, Mother Yashoda was thinking of Krishna as a child. Although he is beyond the reach of all senses, she endeavored to bind him up to a wooden grinding mortar. But when she tried to bind him, she found that the rope she was using was far too short, always short by 2 inches. She gathered more ropes from the house and added to it, but at the end she found the same shortage. In this way, she connected all the ropes available at home. But when the final knot was added, she saw that it was still 2 inches too short. Mother Yashoda was smiling, but she was astonished. How was it happening? In attempting to bind her son, she became tired. But then Lord Krishna appreciated the hard labor of his mother, and being compassionate upon her, he agreed to be bound by the ropes. Krishna, playing as a human child in the house of Mother Yashoda, was performing his own selected pastimes. Of course, no one can control the Supreme Personality of Godhead.